Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Robyn Zimmerman, along with our special guest from the Coastal Discovery Museum, the Director of Exhibitions, Elizabeth Greenberg. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
A little frazzled.
Yes.
We've got a big exhibition that will be debuting at the museum on the 4th of March, and it is called Binya Faces of the Gullah Geechee. And we were just talking earlier about that it has so many different components to it. So bringing this all together, and really it's the first time you've brought all of this artwork together in pieces.
So we have a couple pieces in the collection that we've had for a long time. 2 pieces by Walter Greer, who was a significant artist on the island. And he painted them in the 1960s, one of John Holmes, who was a well-known fisherman here, and then one of Mary Hamilton, who was a midwife. And they're 2 of our prized paintings. They're often on exhibit. We love them. So, but what happened was, I don't know, it might be almost 2 years ago now, we were approached by an artist, a South Carolina artist named Curtis Phillips, and he had painted Joe Legree, who was a very well-known cast net sewer on St. Helena, and he had met with him. He had spent a whole day with him. He'd taken photographs, all of that, and it was a perfect portrait of Joe Legree, like really wonderful. So the museum we don't have an acquisitions fund. It's not something we normally do, but this was something very special. So we tried to fundraise for it, and Curtis was really wonderful about trying to help us with that. In the context of that, he painted a portrait of Alex Brown, because our local councilman, because Alex agreed to sit for him as sort of like a fundraising thing. It was really, and then Curtis gave us that painting when we purchased the Joe Legree. So all of a sudden we have a few extra
dominoes started falling.
And we started to look at it and say, we might be able to make an exhibition out of this.
Yes.
And that was really the start. And then since then, it's snowballed, and there are more portraits than you would imagine out there, and some really interesting ones, and pieces that, so Jonathan Green. Everybody knows Jonathan Green's typical style. Well, did you know that Jonathan Green painted a self-portrait in 1983 when he was in art school, this beautiful little self-portrait that I don't think has ever been seen. It's never been on exhibit, and he's lending that here, and there's kind of a significant story that goes with that. Then we
have Emery Campbell, and this is your postcard announcing the exhibit.
Yes, and so this was one of the really exciting things that then came from this was, could we commission some wonderful artists to paint some of our local elders, people who are so significant in the community? Yes. And so the answer to that was yes. So Natalie Days, who's a really fantastic artist, she lives up in Georgetown. She and her husband were the couple behind Gullah Island in the 90s. So they're very involved in the community. She's a great artist. She has known Dr. Campbell for a long time, and so she met with him and photographed him and painted a really fantastic portrait of him. We're so excited. That's now in the museum collection.
Okay.
And then
you brought some other things.
Yes.
You want to show those?
Yes. And then also Anthony Johnson, who's a really great young artist, did Louise Cohen from the Gullah Museum.
Wonderful.
These 2 portraits are fantastic. So this is John Holmes on Islander magazine for people who have been here for a while and know Islander. I love Islander magazine. So he was actually, this painting was a very well-known painting that the Greers donated to us. And then this is kind of an interesting, weird story, but what we discovered in all of this was there's a very well-known artist, Winold Reese. He just had a major exhibition in New York at New York Historical, and he painted all sorts of people, but he came down here to paint the Penn School in the 1920s. So in 1927, he came down and he did a whole series of paintings. Well, it's we can't get an original from that. They are out there, but I searched and I searched, and I finally found it was painted for the magazine Survey Graphic, which is very rare, and I found it. And so this has 4 of the portraits that Winold Reese painted. This is a boy from Penn School. So that's just a little historical piece to it. So we have these and there's many more artists. Yeah, Sam Doyle, Lisa Rivers.
We've just touched the tip of the iceberg. Again, is going to be a fabulous exhibition. It opens on March the 4th at the Coastal Discovery Museum. There is a reception on the 9th. Elizabeth, good work. I know you're going back to work to finish up everything that you're doing, and we appreciate your service.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.